I was late to the party. I know Lori joined the show late, like after the show already existed.
But you were in the first season, didn't you? Come on the first season?
I wasn't on Full House probably until season 5.
I mean, yes, season 5 is what I meant. I was just testing you.
But then, and then I joined as like, I think a series regular in season 6. So I was like the new guy and very like conscious of it. But you guys were so gracious and made me feel very welcome. And I think that all that like it was part of a hazing process that made me feel like part of the family.
Yeah, you were definitely part of the team from day one. You just fit in, and it was just, and you were so good natured about it because, you know, you jump into the fray on a new show like this where we're established for so many seasons. It's not easy.
It was intimidating.
It's not easy, you know, because you don't really know everybody or their idiosyncrasies or DJ's upset. You don't know that stuff's gonna happen. And you fit in just seamlessly. It was.
Thanks. You know what I remember? You used to love to make fun of my salary.
Well,
because the show was a monster hit, and it's like in season 6 by the time I'm a series regular. So you guys probably had huge season 6 paychecks. But for me, it was season 1. And so I remember you used to good-naturedly rib me about.
Do you remember what I used to say to you?
Yes, I
do. Should I say it? I don't want it to sound mean because I meant it totally as a joke.
I know.
All right. Do you want to tell everybody what I first said to you?
I remember you were like, "Hey, Scott." So, because it's also part of the business that you have to pay everybody. You have an agent and a manager and a lawyer and a publicist and all this stuff and taxes. And then, of course, I was a minor, so a quarter of my salary went into like a trust
fund
account.
Yeah. Right.
And so I remember you once said to me like, "Hey, Scott, so after you pay your agent and your manager and your lawyer and your accountant and your publicist, and what do you do with your $12?"
But I remember it made you laugh.
Oh my God.
It made you laugh.
I laughed all day, every day on that job. I mean, that's all we did. I heard Lori told you that story about how she had like cramps after the first week on the job. And that's what it was like. You would just laugh so much that you were exhausted from it.
Yeah, and it's amazing that we got 192 episodes finished goofing around that much. But you know what? It got us through the process. Yeah. And there were some tough days, and we worked with little kids, babies.
Kids and animals. The two rules you're supposed to...
In fact, there's the stunt baby.
Oh, my God.
I wanted to have, because all of the things Bob used to do with the stunt baby, we would have that baby sit in.
I'm shocked it's in one piece.
Yeah, we would. It's not the real one, but I wanted to have one here just to remind us about Bob and all the amazing things he did.
Yes.
With the stunt baby. So this is all stuff I get to ask you that I've never asked you before. What was the first thing that got you on the path to acting?
It's funny,
because your dad's a doctor.
My dad's a doctor, and I didn't grow up out in Hollywood. The weird thing is I grew up in a town called Hollywood, but in Florida. And grew up in Hollywood, Florida. And
where the sign is really low there.
Yeah, exactly.
The Hollywood sign.
They had to just put it on the ground.
You can't see it.
So there's no mountain.
Can't even see it.
It's on a golf course hill.
Yes.
that's all we got. But I was always like a very hammy kid, and I liked to be in talent shows and do like school plays and stuff. And it was literally, that's why it's fun that you asked me to talk about this episode today, episode 13, because DJ deciding she wants to get into acting, it sort of reminded me how I wanted, because a lot of kids you meet out here in show business, their parents kind of push them into it, or maybe to supplement the family income or whatever. But for me, it was really like I had to beg my parents. There was a career day at school, where like people from different professions come.
How old are you then?
I was probably 8 or 9. I was about 8 years old.
Okay.
It was exactly like the DJ story in the episode, because I begged my parents to help me find out how to get into professional acting, because this professional actor came to career day, and I was like, oh, those are real people. This is just their job, like the people on TV.
Yeah.
It's just people with a job.
Easy.
It never occurred to me, because on account of being 8. and so my mom happened to play tennis with someone whose kid did like modeling for catalogs, and I went to they got me my first audition, and it was just like DJ in the episode. I didn't have a headshot or a resume. We brought my little wallet photo from my 3rd grade class photo, and My mom gave me a whole speech about how not to be disappointed if I don't get it because these kids are pros. And I said, "Don't worry, Mom, I'm going to get it." And I got it. It was probably like a blessing and a curse because I was convinced that show business was super easy after that.
Yeah.
And then, of course, about 25 more auditions had to come and go before I realized, oh, you don't get them all.
Do you have a worst audition? Do you have any? Did you ever have, like, as a kid, you're just going, forget this. I don't want to do this anymore.
I had some ones where, a lot of auditions you leave feeling like, oh, you don't feel like you did a bad job. You feel like they hate you personally. But I remember this is many years later, when I was like an established kid actor out in Hollywood, California, and I had an audition for this movie, Grand Canyon, with, it was a Lawrence Kasdan movie with Kevin Kline. And my ultimate favorite movie at the time was I Love You to Death. Remember with Kevin Kline?
Yeah.
And it was so good. And so I walk into this audition, and there's Kevin Kline, because he's playing the dad, and Lawrence Kasdan is directing. So these two guys are like my heroes are in this room. And I do the first, and I've got the sides in my hand, the audition sides, and my hand's shaking. And then after the first try, Lawrence Kasdan says, "That was good." He goes, "Let's just do it one more time. And this time, breathe." And I don't think I did. I came out of that audition and I looked at my mom and I was like, not getting this one.
Yeah. But being a child actor, being a kid actor, then you moved out here. Was it because you were on Family Man, right?
Family
Which was
Man,
a Miller Boyette show, right?
It was another one of those kind of TGIF kind of shows.
Right.
I was really lucky. I came out to LA for the first time the summer when I was 13 years old, the summer before I turned 14. And nobody told us that not a lot goes on in the beginning of the summer, like television show production. Yeah. Now it's kind of year round because it's streaming.
It's different now.
But in those days, there would be pilot season in the spring, and then those shows would get picked up or not, and then production would start in the end of July. And so I spent that summer at Oakwood with nothing to do except hang out with other kid actors, which was amazing. And
the Oakwood, that's like Divorcee Manor.
Yeah, exactly.
Is it? Yeah.
Oakwood Apartments, which I don't think it's called that anymore, but
it's where you get divorced and then you move in there.
Exactly.
Until you find a real place.
It's funny because it's known for two things. It's known for kid actors, or like actors and models who come to town for a period for pilot season, and divorced guys, like sad dudes who got kicked out of their house. But I don't associate it with that because I was a kid and it was just fun just hanging out with kid actors and stuff. But and so most of the summer I just spent swimming in the pool and hanging out with the other kids. And then at the very end, I had an audition for a TV show that was going into production for their first regular episode, Life Goes On. And
with Chris Burke.
With Chris Burke, exactly.
Right.
And it was one of my first real auditions, and I got it out here. I was really lucky. It was to play the kid who was running against Chris Burke for class president. Yeah. And that was my first LA gig, was that show.
So then did you stay out here or did you go back to Hollywood?
No, then went home to Florida, and because I had siblings, and my dad had a full-time, he was an orthopedic surgeon. He still is, but he doesn't do he's an orthopedist. But so I would go back, and then we came back for pilot season, and on the second day I was in town, I met Tom Miller and Bob Boyette, the legendary TV producers, and they liked me. I had to read for them, do a little audition for them, and they wanted to put me under a holding deal. They said, "We want to put you on one of our shows, but we don't have the show yet." So, and I guess it was my agent was like, "You're taking this deal." And my mom's like, "But we can't. We just got here." She's like, "Shut up." It's Tom Miller and Bob Boyette they were the kings of television.
Yeah, they were. Yeah.
And if they wanted to put you on a deal, you were doing it.
Right.
They didn't shoot pilots that didn't get picked up. Everything got picked up. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
So it was a really lucky break. I had a very smooth, I was very blessed. I got lucky.